Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're cracking open a filing from Hanover Bancorp, a company that sounds like it's about to sell you a nice suit, but it's actually in the banking business with the ticker ACHNVR. Now this report isn't your typical earnings announcement filled with exciting profit news. Think of this more like changing the wallpaper in your house. It involves moving the company from one state to another. Before we dive in, if you're into making sense of complicated corporate stuff, be sure to subscribe. Jump into our Discord too for deeper discussions, link below. So the big news here is that on June 25, 2025, Hanover Bancorp, which was originally a New York company, decided to become a Maryland company. To do this, they created a new company. To do this, they created a new company. To do this, they created a new company, a Maryland corporation, and merged the original New York company into it. It's kind of like a corporate identity swap. They entered what they call a merger agreement that made this happen. Imagine you're moving houses within the same neighborhood. You still have the same furniture, the same family, but your address has changed. That's the essence of this reincorporation merger. The original Hanover Bancorp essentially ceased to exist, and the new Maryland-based Hanover Bancorp took over, continuing the same business. The main reason for all this legal shuffling? The company's affairs are no longer governed by New York laws, but by Maryland laws. The company is now subject to what is called the Maryland General Corporation Law. Now you might be wondering if they had to jump through a bunch of hoops with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC for short, to issue new stock. Luckily, because all they did was change the company's home state. They were exempt from some of the usual registration requirements. If you're really curious about all the legal details of the merger agreement, it's included as an exhibit in this report. Let's talk about what this all means for the people who own Hanover Bancorp stock. As of June 25, 2025, Hanover Bancorp, the New York version, merged into the Maryland version. The main reason they did this corporate move was to change their official home from New York to Maryland. To make it official, they filed some paperwork including articles of merger with Maryland and a certificate of merger with New York. What this means is that on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, their ticker symbol will reflect that change moving forward. So after all the legal paperwork was completed, the company officially changed its domicile from New York to Maryland. Think of it like updating the company's official address. Also, the company is still subject to all the same rules and regulations under the Securities Exchange Act. They still have to provide the same information to stockholders that they always have. Also, if you had stock in the old Hanover Bancorp, you automatically got the same number of shares in the new Maryland version. Nothing changed there. The total amount of stock the company is allowed to issue stayed the same. They can issue up to 17 million shares of common stock. It's like they had a bucket that could hold 17 million items and they just moved the bucket from New York to Maryland. The company says that this move didn't really change the rights of the stockholders, meaning the people that own the company, but the laws governing their rights did change. Now the rights of the stockholders are governed by Maryland's corporate laws. Since this section is related to previous discussed ones, we can skip it. And finally, this report includes a bunch of exhibits, legal documents that outline the nitty-gritty details of everything we just talked about. In conclusion, Hanover Bancorp went through a corporate re-domiciling procedure, moving the company's headquarters, so to speak, from New York to Maryland. This was done by merging the original company into a newly formed subsidiary in Maryland. The change means that the company is now governed by Maryland law instead of New York law. The company says the change didn't materially affect stockholders' rights. One could say that this is just simple technicality. Dig now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This move is likely aimed at taking advantage of what the company sees as more favorable corporate laws in Maryland. The specific reasons are not detailed in the report, but companies often reincorporate to states like Delaware or Maryland for their established legal frameworks. Management likely concluded this move would provide greater flexibility, possibly in areas like corporate governance or protection from lawsuits. While the company claims there's no major shift in stockholder rights, these subtle changes in legal governance can incrementally benefit management over time. It's worth keeping an eye on future decisions from the board to see if this new legal landscape does indeed create changes in strategy or risk tolerance. Overall, Hanover Bancorp is a bank that might have sought a slight edge by changing its state of incorporation. Nothing too exciting right now. Alright, that's our breakdown of Hanover Bancorp's filing. Do you think these reasons given are true? Is there a bigger story behind this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Also, don't forget to check out our Discord to chat with other investors. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.